Hi, time for more Nature Notes with Nancy. I'm at Sulphur Spring Conservation Area's Sulphur Spring Trail. Let's go check it out. As you get closer to the spring, you can start to smell what smells like a rotten egg smell. That's the sulfur coming out of the water each time the water goes over a waterfalls. But there's another smell out here too. The smell of spearmint. The plant grows out here, as in all of the mint family. The plant has a square stem, usually darker in color, and smells amazing. Boardwalk on this trail protects the soils underneath, as well as ourselves from danger of stepping in the wrong place and falling through the peat moss into the cold water below. A carpet of moss called peat moss or sphagnum moss grows on top of the water, making it look like solid ground. However, were you to step on that, you'd soon find yourself in over a meter deep of very cold water. Peat moss or sphagnum moss helps work like a giant sponge to hang on to extra water during high water periods, slowly releasing that water into the river system over the course of the year. It also helps to trap nutrients and pollutants as well. Back in the 1920s, A.J. Metzger, who owned the property at the time along with his family, discovered one of his cattle beats stuck in a sinkhole back on the property. Upon investigation, they discovered a spring there. He of course got the cattle beast out and then decided to make the spring itself, the opening, wider to allow more water to come through. The water stays at 9 degrees Celsius all year round. And there's enough water coming out of the spring to fill 27 bathtubs full every minute. When you think about it at home, can you fill your own bathtub full every minute? The spring has been measured to be 3 meters deep, but it goes even farther down through smaller cracks and fissures. The fresh water supply continues on year-round, but his ideas of a trout farm never did quite come through. The problem is that this water lacks enough oxygen for the fish eggs to survive. Each time the water goes over a waterfall, more oxygen gets in, and some of that sulfur gas, as the water comes up from underground having passed through a layer of sulfur gas, some of that sulfur gas comes out at each waterfall, but not enough oxygen for fish eggs to survive. Behind the spring is another pond, a pond not connected to the spring whatsoever. This water is warm and has plenty of oxygen, and plenty of wildlife too. There's a number of frogs in here, sounded like green frogs, hiding. Can you spot any? There's one. I hope you enjoyed your walkabout at Sulphur Spring Conservation Area on the trails with me today.